We're going to do a fuck, kill, marry, a few of those with you. BMW, Ferrari, Mercedes.
Mercedes.
Of
Marry.
course.
Fuck Ferrari, kill BMW.
I called that.
That was easy. Isn't that everyone's answer?
Avocado toast, shrimp on the Barbie, Vegemite.
Oh, that's a good one. Considering I've probably had all of maybe 0 shrimps on the Barbie, I'm going to say kill that. I'm going to marry Vegemite and kill and fuck avocado.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Pete from Convicts, and this is the Conviction podcast with Jessica Hart. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Good. I went and found some videotape, probably like 13, 14 years ago.
I was part of it.
You were part of the teaser. I don't know if you even agreed to do that.
I don't think I was.
But we filmed this like reality show about
news to me.
Aussies living in New York together. And then now this Qantas thing, which has been really fun. But tell us quickly about how you ended up in America, how America is, how long you've been here.
America's a mess, no? So I moved here. I was just talking about it with my agent when I went back. In 2004, so I've been here for 20 years. And I came to model. It's a fresh little young face. I loved it. I mean, moving to New York, it was like the beginning of everyone that I knew moving to New York, all the Aussies. We had little Australia. And back then I didn't work enough, so I picked up a shift at Ruby's. Mm-hmm. Did you know that? I worked at Ruby's making coffee. And then eventually I started working lots, which was good.
The Ruby's thing's funny because I think in that tour, you lost your job or you didn't work there once they got a machine because you didn't know how to work the machine.
Yeah, I remember learning, but I don't think anybody would come if they knew I was making coffee. So I thought I was doing a really good job, but there was a bit more to it than just knowing how to use it. That was funny. My God, I can't believe I did that. Those burgers, do you remember those burgers?
Yeah.
Like so nostalgic.
Tell us about the ups and downs of modeling. Now you're coming back to it. What are some of the best moments? What are some of the weirdest moments, hardest, the honesty, I guess, of modeling?
Back at my career and my time as a model, and especially through the Me Too movement. And I feel extremely lucky and fortunate that I have always had, and I'll say it now, it might sound strange to say about myself, but a really good head on my shoulders. And I, looking back, can really see that now. I definitely skipped through the Me Too movements because nobody wanted to fuck with me, I guess. There was something in the way I held myself that kept me always feeling kind of safe. Look, there were times I'd be on shoots and people would just keep overshoot, or I had a bit more of an issue kind of with authority. If a photographer was kind of trying to make me do something that, didn't feel right, even if I felt like I wasn't looking right. More like an ego fight than an uncomfortable fight, I think, was my biggest issues going through.
I can't imagine you held back too. You would say no, it sounds like.
Well, the thing is and this is where you can see where it goes really wrong, is that your agents convince you that these are really good jobs and these are really good people and you have to, and so for some girls that means ham it up or do things just do whatever you have to do to re-get that job or book that shoot. For me, that was more just maybe do as you're told. But I was never willing to, do anything other than that. Really, I didn't care enough. Also, I wasn't trying to be the number one supermodel in what. I wasn't clawing at anything I could get. It was either you book me or you don't. Mm-hmm. I don't really. I'm appreciative, and I want to get further, and I want to be a big model, but I'm not. I'm not gonna pretend to do things or do things that, I was quite a tomboy too, so I wasn't really that kind of girly girl, and that helped and also didn't. So, but I'm happy with where it ended and the career that I had and have. But I do think I'm so lucky that I kind of was in that mindset for most of my life, has been that kind of strong-headed mindset that doesn't allow people to take advantage. Mm-hmm. But also it's probably been to my detriment as well. So, who knows? I think if I look back, I think I'll take that over the alternative.
Yeah.
And, people always ask me if I'd let my daughter get into modeling. Actually, before I even had kids, they always said, would you let your kids get into modeling? And I've always said that, it just depends on the child.
So let's talk about being a mum then.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously there's been the priority for you for 5 years now.
Primary job.
How's
for the past 4 years? She's been? 4 in a minute.
Yeah.
I wish there was some sort of warning that came before you had children, other than other people just being, it's good, it's tough, it's good, it's good, it's kind of tough. It is just, everyone kind of does say it, but until you're in it, it's just, it's shocking how altering it is, really. But what I have come to realize, and I'm not sure, I think some people, everyone's different, but for me, I'm not the best at the young mom thing. I feel like I'm thriving now. My youngest is 2.5, baby's 3.5, and this is my age. This is my, I can be a great mom to this age. The relentless, non-communicative, non-independent babies are it's just grueling. But there are some moms that really love that part of it more than they like the other bit. I'm starting the best part of parenthood now for me, because this is where I can really connect and be on their level and communicate with them and teach them, properly. This is where I feel like I'm starting to really thrive, and I'm so excited about that. It's kind of a new page for me.
Tell us about car racing. How did you get into it? Why? What is it for people who wouldn't maybe know?
So it didn't start. So when I was really young, I was always into cars. I was a really big tomboy, and I knew more about cars than I knew about magazines, that's for sure. I didn't know what Vogue or Louis Vuitton or Chanel was when I started modeling, but I could have told you every Holden under the sun. And Holden's Australian, for those people that don't know that. Yeah, so that was something that was just part of who I was as a kid. And then I started modeling, and I shut that all out because that didn't align with this new model girl that was going off into the world. And then also I was just, modeling for years. And after a breakup, I wanted to get in touch with my inner child. And I was like, what used to drive me? And I was like, cars. And I'd always had this tab on my laptop. Do we still have tabs? No. Remember you'd have the tabs on your browser. And I had AMG Academy. I'd looked it up maybe 5 or 6 years before, and it was way out of my price range. I was still 20 and just moved to New York. And I put it on my thing as I was just manifesting it. And after a breakup, I was like, what do I want to do? And I remembered the tab, and I clicked on it, and I was like, you know what, I'm doing it. So I signed myself up for this course. I flew out, it was in Austin, and I did a beginners and advanced. So that was a 3-day intensive course. And then I just fell in love with it. I kept going back to do these courses, and AMG is obviously Mercedes. So eventually, at the beginning, I was just doing it all on my own merit, and eventually Mercedes caught wind, and that's how my ambassadorship came through that. But yeah, I've done advanced pro. I've got to do pro plus, and I get a race license. But my intention is not to race. I'm not trying to race. I just love driving, and I love taking the cars to the track.
What is it about driving cars and driving fast that you love?
Well, the adrenaline is a big part of it. I also like jumping out of planes. In a world where I have no control over what I do, this is really something that I can control. Being able to handle these vehicles that could be somewhat quite terrifying, but, you know, and kind of get it right. And also once you start like tracking around the track and like getting faster around the course and driving, like it's quite meditative as well as, you know, thrilling and terrifying. All right, you also completely switch off to the rest of the world. So there's so many elements of it. Doesn't everybody like to do that?
Yeah.
I feel like it's just something that like
everyone finds their thing, you know, it's like surfing or whatever it is. I think now more than ever, I certainly feel like I'm looking for things in life that put me in the moment.
Yeah.
And there's obviously like, you know, there are ways to do that are probably more natural, but there are also ways to just throw you in the moment and like force it on you. Do you drive around the streets of LA fast as well? Like are you
No,
like
not really. My kids love it. They say, go fast, Mom. I'm like, no, we're in our neighborhood. I can't do it here. But there are times that I definitely do. But I'm not just on the gas all day. I can't. That's just like too much. But sometimes I just, you know, let it rip.
Let it rip. My wife has a heavy foot and it's nerve-wracking. Texan, like, yeah, just like slow down. Let's talk about like how you stay healthy and well. I know you went through a period of sobriety for years. Something we've talked about on and off. You know, I like feel like I'm working towards drinking less and finding ways to be healthier. Where are you at in your kind of health and wellness space? How do you stay mentally healthy and well?
I love sobriety more than maybe anything. I just, the way I feel when I'm like 100% sober and in that mindset of like, don't want to drink, don't need to drink, and like feel so much better in the morning, clearer. I just love it. Like I crave that more than I crave drinking. Right now, I'm not actually currently what you'd call sober because, you know, maybe a couple of days ago I had a glass of wine or something, but I'm not somebody that drinks a lot anyway. Like I don't drink at night at home. So it's almost harder to be like that because it's either like you've just got to be all off, or if someone comes over and says, do you want to have a glass of wine? I'm going to say yes, because I'm not in the mindset of 100% no, and then I'll have a glass of wine, but that's fine. I mean, I don't know. There's a balance, but then there's also something just super powerful and invigorating and thrilling about being 100% sober because you're better than that. And it doesn't have a control on you, and you have the control and back to controlling, which is another thing that I think does come in the ways of maybe like my work and things like that. When I'm if I'm in a feeling of like things are like not feeling like I have a lot of control, or maybe I don't have a lot of routine. Sobriety is something I can come to and have is like, that's my kind of my center. But how I feel when I'm in that mindset, it's almost like you wouldn't want to be around me because I'm kind of like so righteous about it. But it feels really good for me and I love it. And I was just saying to my girlfriends the other day that like, that is the life I want to live. I want to be a fully sober person, but currently haven't started that journey this time around. So yeah, but I love sobriety.
I understand that. I mean, I haven't taken a lot of time off, but like even taking a month off, after a month you start to, like you said, it's not controlling you, you're not thinking about it. And then, you know, you have, in my case, we had my 40th and then, you know, you drink and then you're like, I've traveled next week. And you're like, and then it just, like 12 months later, you're like, oh.
Like being on a plane and not having a drink is like one of the hardest things. Like,
being on a plane with kids and not having a drink is impossible.
Exactly. I feel like that was like the first time my sobriety got tested. I was like, no, I could imagine every scenario. I was at a party. I'd be like, nope, I'm going to say I don't drink and then I'm going to be fine. Because you have to really play out all your scenarios in order to be able to do it in the moment. And the one thing I didn't think of was like being on a plane. And I remember just being like, how do you fly without drinking? I mean, like it was just, and I had to, you know, I was deep in a sobriety at that point and I was like, this is hard. But I've since got over that. Even now when I'm drinking, occasionally I can still do a flight without drinking.
I find the lounge hard to not have a drink in,
but
I've done it recently.
There's those places that you just drink
and like
it doesn't.
But it's like 10 a.m. and I'm like, do not have a drink.
Everybody does it though, have you noticed? Like everyone in a lounge or on a plane at 10 a.m. There's champagne or sparkling water.
Yeah.
And you're like, champagne. No one cares. There's no rules. You're in the
We
air.
might have had that moment yesterday, actually. Champagne, sparkling. We'll have sparkling water. Actually, you know what? We'll have both.
Yeah. It takes a lot. And I find that I have to be in that mindset of fully, absolutely no. And then I can do it. But if I'm like even slightly, I can twist my own arm really quick.
I want to do some more fuck, kill, marries because they're funny.
Okay.
But I haven't thought of them yet. But I was thinking of one then, like, what about Venice?
Considering all LA is dead
Venice,
already.
Malibu, and LA's dead. But if you had to be here, Venice, Malibu, Hollywood. Where are you? Hollywood, West Hollywood?
I'm Hollywood.
You're Hollywood.
Hollywood Hills. Die. I'm over it all, honestly.
One other silly question, but I think it's kind of funny. What's the best snack on set?
It really depends, my mindset. But it can be anything from a Cheeto, because they're gluten-free and I can still eat them, to like nuts, which are a bit more boring, but they're a good snack. It's like sustainable energy and stuff.
Wait, so the Cheetos, the problem is not the gluten.
Yeah. No, so that's like my naughty snack.
Okay.
That would be like I'm kind of pissed off that I'm still on set and I'm just going to eat this shit.
What about places to drive? Have you got some favorite
Canyons.
places? Yeah, okay.
All up behind anywhere between getting from Hollywood to Malibu, mainly all the tracks. I just did Sonoma Raceway for the first time a couple of weeks ago. That was epic. And Laguna Seca is one of my favorites.
Do you still have a Ferrari?
Yeah, I do. It's in the garage.
Has it got chairs in it yet?
So still only got one, but we've ordered 2 really beautiful ones. And actually they arrived like last week. So within a couple of weeks, it's on the bottom of the priority list at the moment. So I'd say in the next couple of months, we'll probably get those in there.
Cool. I've been telling Indigo, our 4-year-old, that she's going to get to ride in your Ferrari at some point.
100%. 100%. Same with my kids keep wanting to go into it too. But 100%, it's so fun and loud and low to drive. It comes with harnesses, so you can just throw the kids in there. They don't even need seats. They just, you know.
All right. Well, thank you so much for catching up.
Thank
it's fun
you.
to chat. It's cool to hear what you're up to.
So fun.
All the best. Final question: if we're sitting down again in 10 years, as we seem to do every about decade, where do you think you'll be? What do you be doing?
I'm going to have like a ranch in Ojai with horses, and I'll also probably have a house upstate New York, and my kids will be teenagers and they'll be the best kids. They won't be naughty, and I'll still be traveling a lot and happy and healthy.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks, Jess.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.